live? There we are. Cool. Great. So let's kick it off. Welcome everyone to Everscale Community Call number 117. Last night, Broxus held an AMA with the Chain Wars game team, which is amazing. So if you weren't able to catch it, if you weren't able to watch it live, you can watch it on the YouTube channel, the Everscale YouTube channel. It's been recorded, so go check that out. Really cool game. So let's kick off the agenda. Mr. Pavel Privilovko, would you like to start with this strategic committee update?
Yes, thank you, John. So, technical news, pretty technical this this call. So there was some progress. There was some progress on ramp development. It is stable and its performance increasing. So I think that this week there will be load test, which brokers plan to do on specialized network with good hardware to test what limits does this software has at the moment. So then we also discussed the process of switching on capabilities in different networks, because we now have a number of opcodes which were developed, but they did not went live due to some reasons, mostly because there were no discussion how to use it. So, for example, init code hash opcode, which was not switched on. So there will be now discussion how it should be used, and there should be several updates on the scheme how it operates. Also, full message bounce, full message body bounce capability was switched on because this was long-awaited capability by developers. Reasons for that were that now smart contract developers will be able not to hold the status of outgoing messages to check whether they were processed correctly or not. So this is pretty much it. The last thing, there was some interesting, I wouldn't call it bug, but there was some interesting finding on new multi-sig contract 2.0, how kind of phishing attack can be done using capability of that contract to be deployed by internal message from any address, and there was a decision to limit that capability, and now multi-signature contract will be able to deploy it only by contract which has the same public key. So the contract, the address which sent that message, deploy message, should have the same public key as the address where it should be deployed. Well, this is it. If you have any questions, please ask.
Does anybody have any questions for Pavel? No, nobody yet. Maybe soon, so stick around. Thank you very much, Pavel. Next up, it is the community's favorite mysterious tech guru, Mitya Gorashevsky. with some news about Gosh. What's going on?
Hi,
Hi,
all. Long time.
welcome back.
Yeah, not for long.
What do you mean not for long?
So, just for this announcement.
Okay.
Gosh is participating with Docker in Hacktober Fest. Hacktober Fest is a hacker, basically kind of event organized by DigitalOcean, and there is like going on for the whole month. I bet you know about this. If not, you can go check it in Oktoberfest. Just put it in Google. Basically, it's like a way to give back to the open source community for tools you use in your projects. So you choose whatever open source repository which participates in Oktoberfest, and that means having tag Oktoberfest attached to it and listed in the Oktoberfest repository list, and contribute to it. And one of these repositories is Gosh. And of course, like every project chooses their own kind of what they want to do, and how you can contribute, and what to give back for this contribution, if at all. Like usually, again, it's completely like community-driven thing. Usually, DigitalOcean sends some t-shirts back and stuff like that for participants. And of course, by contributing to Gosh, you will be entitled to whatever DigitalOcean is giving away, and it's nice, it's fun. There is a server with a lot of developers joined, and Discord and so on and so forth. There are thousands of people who participate usually in this event. So, but we decided on top of that to kick off what Gosh has always planned to do, which is meritocratic token distribution done right. Avoiding some mistakes which were made by Everscale in the beginning, but still preserving the spirit of the meritocratic token distribution, which is basically what Gosh is built upon. Gosh is built upon the principle of kind of every repository is a DAO, and you can create rules for your token in the DAO to attach these rules to your repository commits, policies, and kind of, give tokens to contributors according to the rules that you yourself create for your DAO. This is what Gosh is. So as you may know, like there is a PBFTG idea that wasn't materialized in Everscale. We never kind of did it. And frankly speaking, it was doomed to kind of not being implemented because of conflicting directions the Everscale community was going in all kind of sorts of directions. And, trying to appeal for too many parties at the same time. Well, we don't have that problem in Gosh, meaning we don't need to think about all these political issues, all these many parties who want different things, because we have one simple, clear goal in front of us, and that is to revolutionize open source development. Very simple. Only this goal. We don't have a goal of pleasing some investors with the token price. We don't have a goal of, pleasing some community with some whatever they are expecting from us. We have a simple one goal, and whoever shares this goal can participate. It's very simple. If you don't share that goal, don't participate. Very simple. Right? So we're not welcome people who are not share our values. We only welcome people who share our values of the open source, and the way we think, kind of as a community, we think how blockchain can contribute to the open source movement. And open source, when I say open source movement, of course, I mean free software movement, because open source is just basically a different kind of building on top of free software movement. So we are creating now, and it's as you may know, if you ever use Gosh or ever tried to be interested in that, Gosh has, when you create a repository in Gosh, you have this DAO created and some tokens distributed automatically to DAO members. That was the first version. And then you vote with these tokens for whatever repository decisions you're making, like merge commits, the mine branch, and so on. So right now we're working on next version. It's almost there. And this version will create a new upgraded version of the SMV voting and basically the DAO, for repository DAO. That will include the management of the tokens. So you can decide what tokens are issued. You can decide on new members. You can decide on token distribution with the same voting mechanism, SMV voting mechanism, as properly, needed. And so one of the things that you can actually decide is how much tokens will automatically be transferred to the developer for the accepted, pull request into your repository. Right, so that's something which is built upon the PBFTG idea, but instead of making a very kind of complicated judgment structure, okay, we just have a judgment of the community members of this repository by SMV voting. And of course, the PBFTG tried to do that on scale, but in Gosh, we're just taking scale as in a little bit different kind of direction when we say, you don't need to scale one repository to accommodate for 10 million commits. That doesn't happen. There are no repositories with 10 million commits over a short period of time. That's just not, you don't need to do that. Instead, what you can do is create a repository and have a community around this repository and vote for whatever rules you want on this repository, how you want to distribute the tokens. And then if you have another subject, you can create another repository and distribute another token according to other rules. And whenever you vote for this, whatever, event of the distribution, means someone, committed some code, you want to merge it, and the community, your repository, DAO members vote with the SMV for this commit, and it's a good enough and pretty scalable structure which can scale to the whole open source, which is of course bigger than any blockchain, ever. So that is, and we are going to implement that right on Hacktoberfest as part of the Hacktoberfest. Actually, whenever you contribute to the Gosh repository under the Hacktoberfest, this in the end of Hacktoberfest, we are going to vote, like the DAO members of the Gosh repository are going to vote for your commits to be, merged or not. And if they're going to be merged, then, tokens will be distributed to you as, part of this decision-making process. Now, one thing I need to mention here is that it is not a payment for your services. And so the Gosh token is not liquid. You cannot sell it. And this will stay this way for quite some time. And we are not going to make the mistake of going to list this token on hundreds of exchanges because we know what it does to the token, and we don't need that. And more than that, we are only welcome people who are here with us for a long term. Meaning that every token is distributed, which is distributed through the Gosh DAO, is locked for 1 year and vested over 5. So that means that you're not going to get your tokens tomorrow. pick up whatever shitty exchange and go sell it to pay your bills. No, this is not the idea. That you do with your fiat money, which you get every month for whatever job you do, right? Gosh is not an employee. It's a very different idea. And when you talk about open source in general, open source usually is not an employee. It's almost never an employee. Actually, there are like maybe on one hand, I can count projects which employs people in the open source directly through the foundation, like Linux Foundation. Very few people, maybe Linus Torvalds, one. I know a few others, but it's not a lot of them. Most of the time you contribute in open source when you work for some big corporation, and this big corporation uses some open source tools and give some engineers to contribute to this open source back. So in this case, you're a contributor, but you get your salary from this big corporation, or you have a free time in free time because, well, obviously our hobby as our job is all here, like in tech. So probably some of you, and actually there's quite a lot of people who contribute in their free time, some of their free time in the hobby part of their free time, contribute to some open source repositories that they like. And we know, like, this is what movement is about, right? So what we want to do right now is, again, we're not looking for full-time contributors to Gosh in this respect. But if you want to contribute to Gosh and you want to participate at Oktoberfest, you will earn some Gosh tokens, which actually there is no other way to get them. So we will distribute up to 10,000 tokens for commits that are accepted, up to, meaning depends on, of course, the scope of the work that you did. We're looking for third-party integrations right now. We're looking for tools to integrate with CI/CD tools, plugins to like CI/CD project management tools as well, communication software tools, whatever you can think of, any third-party service, any third-party software to integrate with Gosh system. You're welcome to contribute. Thank you very much. Let me conclude by that.
Wow, that was a lot to share and a mouthful. Thank you very much, Mitya. That's really cool about Hacktober. So say if somebody was not a developer and could not, could not participate in Hacktober, how could one get a cool t-shirt?
I think it's for developers. Well, actually not, because I think you can contribute to documentation, you can contribute to many other things and many other open source repositories. Okay. We're not taking these contributions yet. I mean, in this Oktoberfest, we are going to do other hackathons as well. We're planning to do other hackathons, and there will be announcements going on, quite soon after that. But in terms of for the hackathon, this particular Hacktoberfest hackathon, we're only taking the developers' contribution for now. By the way, the Gosh SMV kind of DAO system doesn't only work for commits in terms of to repository, in terms of code. First of all, you can commit, of course, text and anything else, whatever you want. You can build a book in your repository using, Gosh DAO mechanism. But also, there will be special entities, objects in Gosh DAO, like tasks. So if you're a manager, for example, if you're a product owner or a Scrum Master, whatever, and you can you help managing the repository, then there is a way also to configure your Gosh DAO repository to kind of get the part of the tokens, of this repository tokens, for managing tasks and other things around the actual developer works.
Cool. I like how you're putting your foot down to say that Gosh is going to be here for the long run too, with the, you're not listing the tokens, there's no liquidity, and there's going to be long-term vesting. Really cool. Does anybody have any questions for Mitya? If not, we'll move on, because we also have a lot of questions from community to get to after this. I didn't see hands. So next up is the Gitex and Future Summit. So this past week, Alex, the CEO of EverX, was busy schmoozing around and speaking at events. Would you like to give us an update on what you've been up to?
Sure. I'm a little bit sick, so I'll have to keep it short.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll lose my voice very quickly. Yes. So first of all, if anybody hasn't been to Gitex, I highly recommend that. It's the largest technology show in the world, conference and show in the world. It was my third time, and I think every year it doubles. This time, the whole World Trade Center in Dubai couldn't fit the conference, which is huge by itself. So they were doing like outside pavilions. And basically, the blockchain summit is part of that. It's probably only like 3% of the whole show, because you have, Googles and Microsofts and countries exhibiting, and basically everybody's in there, whoever is in the technology space. You have, flying cars, you have robots everywhere. So it's pretty intense. It's as if, the Silicon Valley is kind of multiplied by many times. Yeah. So it's Gitex is worse by itself. Speaking about the blockchain part of that, just a couple of observations is that on trends, probably the biggest one is, of course, the whole metaverse phenomenon is developing very quickly. This time they had the whole Xverse pavilion, basically featuring whoever caters to the metaverse. There was, of course, Decentraland and different players in the space. So that's probably the biggest highlight, because it's not only in a separate pavilion, but also in the main blockchain session. There were a lot of kind of metaverse catering folks, and a lot of talks were I would say main stage talks. Keynote talks were to a certain extent featuring metaverse. So that's probably the biggest highlight. There was very little DeFi. I think the whole DeFi space is struggling to reinvent itself after the collapse of 2022. There was one accelerator to DeFi, which is actually pretty good. But then just compared to last year's, it was very little DeFi. So, and very little NFT, by the way, as well. Pure NFT, apart from metaverse. So the two big kind of, trends and bubbles, whatever is the right word to use, of the last couple of years were really not dominant. There was much more focus on infrastructure, on companies just being developers. So I'm sensing that the cleanup of the market is happening as we speak. If you were there last year, it was NFT was everywhere. This year again, there was very little. So you can just see that whoever is up for the long-term sustainable development was actually featured. We were the Everscale community was represented by 4 people. Besides myself, it's Dave Poulias, who is probably the most active member of the foundation, or I should say one of the members, because there are a couple of others who are extremely helpful and active. It was Vladimir Maslikov and Nikita Inshikov. So we had a lot of meetings, a lot of business development. I have like 50 business cards that I still need to digest and reply or follow up. But of course, the problem with all those conferences is that to see how much of that will translate into real adoption. Either companies taking on moving to Everscale or developing on Everscale, or participating in some other format. So I'll probably, given my voice, I'll probably stop there. There'll be at least a few leads that will certainly materialize. At least a couple of them we'll see, I think, as quickly as October, November, migrating to Everscale as a result of those business activities. But again, I'll stop there, not to lose the voice completely. Thank you.
Yeah, understandable. Thank you very much for the update, Alex. And it sounds exciting what's happening over there. And also regards to Dave, that I think I'm still thankful that he came on the Everscale community call as a super busy initial member of the foundation, and all the stuff that he's doing right now. It's nice that he could take some time out and join the call and talk to all of us. So that's great. Please stick around. I know that we've got some questions that you might want to save your voice for, so you can address them. So moving on to Broxie, if Vlad's around here, I'm sure that you've seen a bunch of promotions and announcements in the channels and in the chats, and congratulations to the Broxie team who sold out their NFT collection. which is great. And we've got an update from Vlad, if you would like to put his camera on.
Hi guys,
Hey.
just a second. Hello there. Yes, thank you, Joanne. Really, it was a huge success. I should name it, and it was the result of many months of preparation work that had been done by the team. And so the whole collection was sold out, so slightly more than 1 day. So, and it's a really good result, especially in the bear market we are in now. But this is not just a simple NFT collection that we just want to do for the sake of art or whatever. Broxie NFT collection will have its utility, and so some points are already defined, some not yet. And so please, I kindly ask you to be a little patient. So we will definitely announce and disclose all the information about which utility and if those NFTs will have. And yeah, so you can see that there is the collection is already available on Grand Bazaar, so it's hopefully will be available on several other marketplaces. And this Thursday, so I will host the AMA session, so dedicated to the recent updates from Broxus, including Broxie. So please prepare all your questions, and so let's rock. So we'll try to answer everything.
Okay, great. When is the AMA? When's that scheduled for?
It's on Thursday. If I'm not wrong, it's 4 p.m. Central European time.
Okay, great. So we'll find out a lot more details then. Thank you for the update. And moving on, I believe it's the last topic today. We've got the Moon Game. There's something exciting happening tomorrow. I think apparently the moon is for sale. Well, let's find out more about that. What about Alexei and Andrew? What are you guys up to?
Yep, great. So I will talk very briefly about this project. You can read something about this project on their special website, moon.id. So the Moon ID will be browser-XC play-to-earn game. It will be multiplayer game, and it's necessary to mine the Lionel mineral and defend against Nightball. It's based on some German centralized game. Maybe someone played something like this. So in this game, first users can when selling of NFT collection will be launched, users can buy their piece of the moon. Actually, there will be about 1,728 pieces of the moon. As you can see, the whole design is like space design. And by the way, what is more important that this picture is the real picture from space satellite LRO, and it was transferred in the form of NFT using TIP4 standard as the standard of NFT. It means that it will be available everywhere. So after you will buy your piece, in some months there will be a game where you can do 4 different things. You can mining a mineral on your territory. You can mine a mineral on another territory, and you can recruit troops to defend, attack, and transport the mineral. It means that the basic tokenomics is like you have a piece of the moon. You can build here some little army of troops. Then you can send them to some another piece and try to steal some minerals for you during the battle. And the battle will be in smart contract 2. Actually, any account will be like a, tip-free standard of token. So each account will be like a tip-free account, and when they will battle between each other, this battle will be in smart contract 2, result in storage, and so on. That's why the main thing of all this, that all the battle logic will be in smart contracts. Then after you mine mineral, or you steal some mineral during the battle, you can buy new troopers to defend or attack, or you can exchange it to the moon token. So I think that I described the basic of all game. So what can I say in addition? Welcome tomorrow, buy your piece of the moon, and soon you can create an army and so on on your piece. Actually, there will be 2 steps in this game. I mean, there will be 2 versions of this game. The first version will be with this NFT collection and building troops and so on your piece. And the second version maybe will have some extra features and so on. So I think that's that's all. If you have some questions, please ask. By the way, you will be able to buy your piece with Ethereum and with Ever mainly, and with Ethereum too. There will be two ways to buy a piece of the moon. Yep, I think that's all. So there will be 1,728 pieces of the moon.
Very cool. So instead of Everscale to the moon, Everscale is going to colonize the moon. How did you guys pick 1,728 pieces? Like, how did you come up with that number?
Andrew, some better person to answer this question, to be honest. I think I won't now translate it to another language. Maybe it's not good for this summer, but I will try to answer it as I know. There is a special map of the moon based on photos from satellites, and Andrew take this map, divided it in equal pieces depending on degrees, long and like
Yep.
sorry, I forgot attitude.
Longitudinal, latitudinal.
Yes, actually. He divided it based on these degrees, and then as I know, he used some 3D software like Blender and upgrade them, because as you can see, not here but here, it's not like the photo is it's a freedom. Okay, I will tell you. Using this map and using these pieces, he recreated every piece in the form of 3D model. Each piece actually is 3D model. Then with functions in Blender, like you can make a photo of your 3D object, like a camera in the film. He make the photo from up. I don't know, from photo, from up to be it's to I don't know how it's not 3D but second dimension. So that's why every piece is free. It's free model which was created using real time, using real photos from satellite, and then with automatic script he take a photo of this 3D model from the app, and then it was transferred to NFT. That's why, saying honestly, Andrew have all pieces of the moon. He has in 3D format too, but we decided not to make it complex for now. Maybe later when you will buy this picture of the moon, but maybe later we will agree that maybe it won't be in NFT, but in the interface or the website, you can click on your piece and see the 3D model of the piece. I cannot promise anything, but it's how it can be, because again, every piece now he has in 3D model too. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing this. Stick around for any questions unless anybody has something to jump in now. Though I don't see any hands. I see we do have some more people who have joined our call. So we do have another topic on the agenda, and that's the Everdues release. So last but not least, we have Renat from the Everscale community who will share news on the Everdues release.
Yeah, hey.
Welcome.
Yeah, hey everyone. So could you please give access to share the screen to Renat Hoffman account?
You should have access.
Let me try. Okay, one second.
Yep,
yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, okay, thank you. So I will show like 3-slide presentation, really short. So first of all, what we are. So we Web3 subscriptions platform, which like solve really easy problem. So using blockchain technologies, we automate subscriptions like recurring payments to allow business register on our platform without KYC and all other stuff in decentralized way and start accepting payments, like recurring payments. So and build like a really borderless business. So how to start using our platform? It's just easy as you see on the screen. So you need visit app.everdues.com, register service, then integrate our widget to your website or whatever application, social group, etc. And embed our SDK to verify users that this user is subscriber or not. So I will show each steps. First step is service registration. So as you can see, you need to fill like information like name, description, category of your service, some link which will be stored in blockchain, image which will show in the catalog later, and you're able to set up multiple tariffs for your subscription plan. Like you can choose like payment period. It can be days, months, years, whatever, and price. Then users will see your service in catalog and be able to subscribe to it. So here, there is widget, how it looks like. So we have like this button, subscribe as Everdues Pay, and users will able to log in with social network and or with wallets and select tariff which corresponds to the service you created, and users will be able to deposit funds on our platform. It's need to mention that we do not store any funds, user funds. So everything stored in blockchain and corresponds to the user private key. So we have no control of user funds and don't manage them. So user able to deposit using Ever Wallet, MetaMask using Octus Bridge, and bank card, with also integrated with Utorg company to provide fiat on-ramp to Ever. So we or users just can skip this if he have balance already available on his account. So when deposit is done, so you can just click to subscribe, and that's it. So for your user will be deployed special smart contract, which anyone able to verify that this contract exists, that this contract was executed properly, and that means that you like paid for such period. Here is like example how we can, with help of our SDK, verify that user subscribed using a user email address or using blockchain address. And I need to mention that our SDK allows to build any kind of logic and build like full integration with applications. It can be like membership platform, social network. Good examples would be like Fiverr, Patreon, OnlyFans, and whatever else, like any social platform. So about like fees, it's we will not take any fees currently. The only fee will be taken is blockchain fee, and the most important part about the fees. So users don't need to care about buying Ever for using our DApp. So they able just, we have like deposit fee, which taken during deposit, and we using this fee to swap to Ever to deploy account for the user, and service provider will pay for the gas for recurring payments from the price. So it's like will be like dynamical fee, and it's really low. Currently, we able to process subscriptions plans for $0.50, and it's markets which not exist nowadays, because you know any recurring payment for even for like in Stripe or other platforms cost like $0.50 for recurring payment plus some percentage, and we able to process even like micro transactions, micro subscription plans. Sorry. Yeah, I'm here. So let me just show you quick demo.
Okay.
I just want to show the interface. So everdues.com is our landing. If you want to reach us, just request a demo there, and we will contact you. So if you will click Go to Marketplace, you will see our application. So we can log in with social network. So we're using like external provider who provides self-custodial login for social networks, called Web3 Hours. So in this account, I already have some funds, like like 0.4 USDT. So actually we're supporting stable coins. Currently we're supporting only USDT, but we will add USDC, DAI pretty soon. And so here we can deposit, as I said, with Ever Wallet, MetaMask, from Ethereum, BNB Chain, and Polygon, because and we will work with them for now. It's not the full list, but it's like what we tested the most, and it works like fast from user experience perspective. Or we can like use a bank card, as I said, so and deposit using your credit card. When you receive money on your wallet, you're able to register a service or subscribe to it. So actually that's it. So here is like process of registration, and that's actually all. So about our status. So we have everything to onboard users. As I said, we have fully functional application. We have SDK. We have widget which can be integrated to websites. Currently, we working on customer development, business development. So we are looking for partners and clients, customers, and we currently working on fundraising. We in process of registration company in Delaware, and also working on this direction. Actually, that's it. Yeah, thank you for your attention.
Wow, thank you. That's fantastic, and the design is beautiful too. It's amazing.
Let me say thanks for our kid who actually helped with design. So yeah, thanks to him. Sam.
Yeah, shout out to EverKit. I kind of missed the homepage. Do you guys have any case studies up, or are you planning on putting on any case studies?
You mean already like integrated some client service? You mean?
Yeah, and examples to help with the onboarding.
Yeah. Okay. Like, so we have like presentation, and we actually have documentation. If you will go to everdues.com, you will see like docs there. Mm-hmm. So we have the full documentation about how to integrate with us, and actually we currently going to have like direct connection with first at least customers to integrate to and use recurring payments using Everdues. But the main idea to provide like full instruments to the people to do it without any help.
Okay, awesome. Does anybody have any questions for the Everdues team before we move on to all the community questions? I don't see hands. No. Okay, thank you very much. We shall move on to the questions. Stick around because there's probably some for you. So questions from the community have been coming through. Let's see, I think if Vlad's still here, is there an emission update item in the Cube roadmap? What is it?
Actually, in Cube, so if you have a look at the Cube Tokenomics, so it will gradually increase its supply. So the course of something like 4 years. So it's openly available in the landing of FlatQube. So probably it's the news about this.
Snazzy. So please tell us about the path that EverCraft project has taken. What's new in the project? When is the launch and token sale planned? What kind of PR are you planning? Anybody can jump in for EverCraft.
Yeah, I can comment. So actually, we are now analyzing the consequences of Microsoft ban on NFTs inside Minecraft. Right. So and actually, what we are now thinking is creation of the universal platform for different kind of metaverses to benefit from Everscale capacities and for being able to host their own DAOs, tokens, and whatever. And so meanwhile, the team is gradually researching the ways of integration within Minecraft still, just for a showcase. So I don't have the specific date yet, but well, traditionally soon. Just keep subscribed.
Okay, great. What about a marketplace for a big gaming company? At what stage is the project? I'm not quite clear on this question. I think when community members write in with the questions, I think they should probably also add information who this question is for, which project specifically, because the projects are growing and it's going to get a bit confusing. Maybe we can come back to this. I could reach out to few people in the ecosystem and see who this question might be best for. There's another one. Do you plan to work with Flex and Gex? I'm not quite sure if this is maybe for Everscale with Flex or EverX with Flex or Flex and Gex together with Gosh. I don't know. Maybe, well, Meech is not here.
And I can do like a short version. I also don't understand the question. Again, Gex and Flex are built on the same platform essentially, and will share basically the order book, but the interfaces and the front ends are separate and target different use cases. One is specifically basically the Gosh ecosystem, and Flex is just a universal new generation limit order book plus automated market maker exchange. So DEX specifically. So that's a short version.
Yeah, great. If this doesn't answer your question, write again in the chat something more specific and we can get it covered. Next question is, when will Ever Wallet support NFT?
It's actually a work in progress. So we are looking towards introducing the NFT and Ever Wallet in such a way that will not ruin the functionality and UI UX of the product, because Ever Wallet is more like an infrastructure product, and we try to find a good balance between the convenience and functionality, and we are always looking into improving it, so making it easier to use and more clear, especially for newcomers. So hopefully we will release it well this year. So it's not so long until the end of the year, but I cannot tell you about the exact dates, because the team is quite busy for now, and we have a lot of updates being prepared as well.
Okay, Vlad, also someone from the community is requesting that you tell them about the first DAO vote on FlatQube.
Oh, actually, I have no update for now. So, but I will be prepared for this question, I guess, for Thursday.
Okay.
So please come to AMA session.
Oh, yes, indeed. Okay. Recently, information has appeared about the collaboration between the NIL Foundation and the Solana blockchain on the topic of creating anonymous tokens. We abandoned this idea due to the risks of delisting on Asian exchanges. Do you think this project has a future in Asia? Who can jump in here? Alex?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I don't have much to say. There is some of the countries, for example, South Korea, don't accept any forms of anonymity, zero knowledge proof, or whatever it is. We've been basically trying to be simply very careful, not to lose some valuable listings, not to stop the new ones, potential new ones coming in. So it's continues to be a sensitive subject. I know the team, it's probably a question to the strategic committee. I know they kind of had a step on this a couple of times at the strategic committees, trying to see how we can do it in a way that we get some value from that development that happened, but but don't lead to any delistings. That would be very stupid as well. But I don't know the latest status. It should be addressed to the strategic committee.
Okay, I think we have another question for the strategy committee. I think maybe Pavel had to jump off because he's also in transit at the moment, but maybe some other people can chime in as you're also involved. So the next one is, at the moment on FlatQube, manual refarming. This action is about to transfer the pool reward, blah, 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 blah. At today's price for however this is acceptable, but when the ever costs incidentally a lot, I have to reword parts of this question. It's going to be available only for rich people, and accordingly, there will be nothing to talk about any mass adoption. On the Gosh network, Mitya offers a beautiful solution to this problem. Gas is paid not in native tokens, but in stables, which can be freely bought through a regular bank card. So does the architectural committee at Everscale have any plans to think about this issue? Perhaps we need some time to formulate a comprehensive answer to this question and post it in the chat. So
well, that's what I would suggest.
yeah. Also, there's another question, whether Broxus's plans for the rest of the year. I would say, well, there's the AMA on Thursday. That would be a great chance to get to know everything that they're going to be doing. And at the end of last year, the unique True NFT technology was widely advertised in Freeton, which could not show itself. How was True NFT different from NFT? Other than it being on-chain versus not on-chain, maybe we could send through some documentation for.
Yeah, I mean, there's that has been covered quite a lot.
Yeah.
Quite a lot, the difference. Basically, we were saying that given our unique debot technologies, there is no need for web-based intermediate interfaces. That basically it's a front end and speaking directly to the blockchain. And also the storage, but it hasn't been really implemented yet. It's awaiting the drive chain, the storage chain, is that the storage can happen on the blockchain itself versus some sort of IPFS or something that is the case today, or some Google services, Amazon services. So for me, it was a little bit of a marketing try that we had. I don't think, given that exactly at that time, basically, the NFT market collapsed by about 90–95%. I don't think there was simply enough traction to justify that marketing effort. But it's not, we shouldn't lose it. It's a great concept. I mean, we should come back to that once the market rebounds and once there are more projects, NFT projects on Everscale.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't lose that concept.
Yeah. So in the summer, there was information that Mark Feldman had agreed on a joint project with CEO of AWA. Is there any information about this? I haven't heard that much, but perhaps we should ask Mark directly. He's not on the call today, but we can ping him in the chats to hear it straight from him. The Fed called the DeFi sector a potential threat to US financial stability. Does this mean that Broxus will no longer support their DeFi products? I believe this exact question has already been asked on an AMA maybe 2 weeks ago. So the answer is no, they're not going to stop supporting their efforts. And also you can ask directly on the AMA. The last question is, will we be able to play a game anytime soon? I believe that's about the Moon Game project. Darkwing?
Yep, I will try to answer. Andrew, oh, he quit. He quit on a session. So I will try to answer something like not very soon, but I think that the actually development of the game is in the process right now, to be honest. That's why I won't say some specific date, but I expected that in 2 or 3 months, the development of the game will be somehow ended for the alpha version. The main thing is to develop and connect some simple parts like accounts. I mean type of accounts like T3 wallets, and calculate all the algorithms about mining mineral, how many mineral should be mined, not to, for example, make Moon token less expensive, how to what should be the price of the army, and by the way, the basic game which we used as a grade, as some fundamental for this game, there are some DAO and social mechanics. For example, free gamers can unite and attack one gamer with their free armies. Free pieces can unite to attack one piece of the Moon 2. In this case, all these mechanics should be think about, should be developed, and so on. That's why, I think that some alpha version can be expected in 2 or 3 months, and then it will depend on how quick and how fast we will go in all this process.
Cool.
So
it looks like an awesome game.
Stay tuned. I think very good phrase. Stay tuned. I mean,
Stay tuned.
really, stay tuned. Really,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of different things that should be developed and should be discussed. That's why stay tuned. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for all of your updates. And that's it for the community call. Thank you, community, for all of your awesome questions. Keep them coming. And for everything that we couldn't address, we're gonna put in the community chat so you can know. Cool.
Thanks,
So,
everybody.
thanks everybody, and have a
Thanks
great
everybody.
rest of
Have a
the
nice
week.
day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
See you in November 1st.